Hey everybody, it's Bob again, and today I'm going to be talking about Elvira's House of Mystery number 5 from 1986. A massive Elvira fan, as you guys can probably tell. Um, I loved the comics, the television shows, the movies, all of that stuff. Anything with Elvira, I'll definitely watch it. You guys may have noticed that I attempted to draw that cover myself, but I gotta be honest, I royally messed it up. But you know, the Elvira isn't bad. It's not the same as you can see, but I had messed up in some spots inking it, so I'll probably try again. But this is an awesome picture. I believe is by Mark Beecham, and yeah, I don't know, just this is awesome. So like the last Elvira's House of Mystery barely had Elvira in it, and I know that she's just the host here while we get these stories of stuff that happened, especially since they need these stories as clues in order to find Kane. Um, but we really just had like throughout the whole book just like one page of Elvira. We're not going to get that this time. We're going to get some more, and we're going to start with Elvira in a coffin asleep, and having some very wild dreams. But I got to tell you, I love this. Like, I'm thinking, that they had a lot of photo reference to work with. Photo reference that you don't see everywhere. There must be like a huge catalog of Elvira pictures or something like that somewhere, because like she has a very distinct nose, and you can see here that that they've copied this. But we have Elvira getting out of bed, obviously not wearing anything, throws her dress on, and bumps into the cabinet on the way out. And when she does, she knocks over a picture that was on top of it, as you can see. And she then, the picture is of Kane, and she's, trying to, I don't know, find clues again to where Kane is. She opens up the drawer, and the drawer is filled with comic books, as we can see here, okay? And of course, you get a couple of quips or whatever, right? About the type of people who read comics or something like that. And of course, that's a joke on the reader himself or herself, as they're reading this. But the house is like, well, here's a story that'll tell you about comic books or something like that, right? So here we are. We cut to this story where we have this guy here uh, named Waddle, I think, and that would be the beef, okay, as you can see here from Waddle and the beef, okay. But basically, this guy's an alcoholic, right? So if we look at this, like the artwork is spectacular. There's plenty of background that just didn't exist, back in like the early 90s. You did not get a lot of this anymore. Um, People were more interested in the cool figures and everything. It's what it was, especially I mean, we can obviously bring up Liefeld that he would never do this, but like the attention to detail. Like, look at this. We have the transom open and what to let some air in or something like that. That's an old fixture that I haven't seen in a while. But this bottle here, I feel like this was just bad placement. Like it could have been in his hand right here, right? It's breaking panel, and it just, I don't know, it just doesn't fit right. But this TV is on with this character, and he throws the pillow at it saying "damn rat," and then he realizes that he's late for work, and he's probably going to end up getting another speeding ticket because of it. And apparently he works at Fun World, and at Fun World he dresses up as that character we just saw on the TV, the Beef. Um, Now, there, the Boss is yelling at him again for being late again, okay? And he's telling him my car broke down. Um, but he's like, your car seems to break down every day and everything. He goes ahead and he gets dressed, and before putting on the mask, he takes another huge swig of liquor. Before I continue on, does anybody remember these? I would kill for one of these right now. I just thought about them the other day, and yeah, we all had these in school. You could buy them at the corner store or whatever. I had so many different colors. I remember having a silver one that I was like in love with, and we would play with these at school all the time. Love these Transformer robot watches. Okay, but the beef goes out there and he is drunk, and he immediately just starts like banging into people as he's walking. It's a huge jump because we get this here, and then it just cuts right to this. Right, you can tell from the little symbols here or whatever that he's drunk, and the mother's trying to get the boy to talk to the beef, but like he kind of doesn't want to because of the way the beef is acting. And when this kid comes running over saying, "Can I have an autograph?" the beef is like, "Hey, take a hike. Like, we don't want to do this." And the kid starts pulling his tail and begging for an autograph. And then the beef turns around, and even the mask becomes like evil or whatever. But he's like, nobody touches Billy Beaver's tail, kid. And I'm coming. Am I coming through loud and clear? And he's like, "Yes, Mr. Beaver, sir." So this guy's just like a total asshole, and completely drunk. So later on, he's off work, and apparently it was payday. And he went and blew all of his money on booze and the races, the racetrack, right? So he's talking about how he needs like some kind of more money or something like that, when suddenly this beaver appears in his apartment, okay? And he's like, "Don't you recognize me? I'm Billy Beaver." And he's like, "Yeah, of course, but you're real, and here are all the other companions of Billy Beaver here." And like they're telling him, they come to warn him, right? They're like, they don't like the kind of thing that he's been doing, kind of giving them a bad name, acting the way he does with kids and everything, and that they're going to put a stop to it if he does it again, right? And this guy, he's just like, "You think I'm the one that's like rough on brats or whatever, right?" He is, they take the cigarette out of his mouth and crush it, like kind of letting him know. Then he pulls up this drink and he starts drinking, and they're just looking at him like, "Seriously, dude? Like, we just kind of warned you that this is what this is," right? And I guess these noises are them disappearing, right? Like, ploy, pop, snip, snark, whatever, right? So he goes back to work again, and this guy's saying, "How are you?" or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, I've been better." And he's like, "I gotta find me a new job because this one's been getting to me." I don't know. I have never been much of a big drinker. I've drank, obviously. I think anybody has. But I never, I wasn't an alcoholic, obviously. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly what alcoholism does to somebody, right? Does it make them hallucinate in this manner and then write it off? I guess there's been one time in my life that like I didn't remember the night before after waking up from drinking or whatever. Maybe that's how that works. But like this guy is like literally talking about the weirdest dream that he had or whatever. But he didn't even seem like he was that drunk, But anyway, so he goes out there and he starts doing the same thing again, right? He starts messing with these kids. And, he's threatening this girl here to pull her pigtails off and stuff like that. This kid goes running away from him, right? And he ends up, like, tripping the kid down to the ground and everything, right? This guy, again, he's just a horrible asshole, okay? And then the boss calls him in. And the boss is like, "Dude, I gotta let you go because, like, you are fucking up these kids and everything, and we can't have that at Fun World and all this." And this guy's like, "Oh, you think you're letting me go? Well, how about I tell the owner of this place that you're sleeping with his daughter?" And the guy's like, "Whoa, wait, hold on now. We didn't do anything wrong, And the guy's like, it doesn't matter if you've done anything wrong. That's the owner's daughter and everything. And, you know, you guys are doing this in secret and I will let him know. And he's like, okay, we don't have to jump the gun here. What do you want? He's like, well, I want to continue working here and I want a raise too, right? And the guy's like, okay, fine. That's going to have to happen, right? So, you know, he walks out, goes home again, and passes out, as we can see with this bottle here. And they're like, you know, so hey, we warned him, you know, he deserves this. So they take some fucking dynamite, okay? Because you gotta remember, these are cartoon characters, okay? They take some fucking dynamite and they put it like between his toes and shit, and in his hand, and light it on fire, and literally watch this guy explode. That is fucking insane, and not where I saw this going at all when I was reading it, okay? You have to remember what 80s cartoons were and the cartoons that came before that, like Tom and Jerry and everything, right? They were extremely violent in a way that was funny because they're cartoons and they can't be hurt or whatever, right? Nobody was looking at this as, oh, kids are going to do this or that or whatever. You know, they were just doing it in order, you know, for comedic effect and everything, you know? But then they started toning that shit way down, and you haven't seen a cartoon like that in forever, okay? So you start to forget that that was a thing, and then you go back and you read this comic, and you've got these beavers and shit literally putting dynamite between toes and in hands and everything, and then blowing this person up, and they're just like, hey, lovely job. He's like, thanks, you do nice work, see you around the studio. And then, point, they're gone again, and that's the end of the story. Their warning was, be an asshole or we're going to blow you the fuck up. That is hilarious, okay? Now, we have a page here again of Elvira flipping these comics all over the place. And again, making some quips about the people who would, you know, read comics and such. And as we can see here, we're also getting the Blue Devil and Swamp Thing comics here that I think were coming out at the same time, which is wild because I'm reading currently the Alan Moore Swamp Things, which I believe that this is, okay, because it does say sophisticated suspense here. But the house is saying, you know, you suppose you could do better with this, with a story or whatever. And she's like, of course I can, I'm Elvira. So here's my story, okay? So she starts telling the story of, by the way, awesome pose here. No notes on the artwork. It's amazing. And like I said, at least we got some more Elvira in an Elvira comic, which is what I wanted. But basically, she is telling the story of this woman named Phyllis Forsyth, who was a young heiress and rich, who married this guy. And they apparently were moving into a castle that her father had moved from, I believe it could have been Scotland, moved over to the United States brick by brick. But this has a tower, as we can see, a clock tower. And every time that the clock strikes, this knight comes out and he would slay a dragon, okay? But right now, it's just the knight, okay? Because she didn't like the dragon at all. She had her father take the dragon down. And this is the dragon that was part of the clock that's in the basement of this castle. But she's literally telling her new husband the story of this, okay? Of everything I just told you, that, you know, she, this dragon used to scare the crap out of her and everything, right? And she, you know, as you can see here, and she told her daddy that she didn't like it. But we can see what happens here, where the dragon comes out at, you know, the stroke of whatever hour, and then this knight comes out and stabs the dragon and takes it back in. And the father was trying to tell her, you know, that, you know, the knight is always there to protect her from this dragon, but she still couldn't take it. So they ended up taking the dragon down out of the clock, okay? Now she goes to bed at night, and she's having these horrific nightmares of this dragon, right? Like the dragon is coming for her. Or, I'm sorry, she was having the nightmares before as a kid, and she's relating that to her new husband. So the next morning, when she walks into the bathroom and see her husband shaving, she can see that he has the face of the dragon, and it, like, you know, terrifies her. She can't understand what's going on there, but, like, throughout the day, everything that they're doing, she's seeing the face of this dragon on the guy that she married, right? So one night, as they're going to bed, the husband says that he's going to be taking, a long walk around the premises or something like that, right? While she'll be going to bed. And as you can see here, uh, it looks like he comes back with this dragon face and begins chasing her. And as he's chasing her, she runs to where this clock is, goes outside the door, and we all know what's gonna happen here is that the clock strikes and this knight comes out and kills this dragon. So the thing is, I think that what happened was that the presence of the dragon was real and that it actually possessed her husband. And the point of it was to marry the girl to get back into the castle, like it hated her for having been removed from the clock to begin with. So it was going to terrorize her, and then this knight came and saved the day, right? And that's the end of that story, okay? And then here we go again with some just absolute beautiful artwork. I wish I could achieve this. I do. I don't get close to this. I got to work on like my anatomy or something like that. I learned more from looking at comics than from looking at, real people or whatever. But all of this is absolutely amazing. And like I said here, you know that somebody is using visual reference here. And then, of course, she's reading Swamp Thing when she notices that there's a face inside those comics, and that's their first clue to finding King. So that was the end of Elvira'S House of Mystery #5. I like this one a lot. I tend to like them all. I'm a guy who tends to like short stories with an ending, where you get a complete story and everything, and these books tend to give you 2 little tales of horror or something like that in the vein of Twilight Zone, and I like it, and especially when you have Elvira as a hostess for it. So guys, I know I say this in every video, but this may be the first time you've seen one. I'm a comic book artist and I'm trying to get my name out there. I'm currently working on my own story called Ghost Girl right now, which is like a superhero horror comic. I do have a video out with a sneak peek of that comic, so you can go check it out and see if you might like it. But I'm trying to get my name out there, and to help my channel grow, you can hit like, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, hit subscribe, because I'm bringing one out every day, okay? All right, guys, until next time.